transaction coordinator with Pacific Coastline TC. Very familiar with the KW inputting system. So I work for this office and a few other Keller Williams offices. So let me just share my screen first. Okay, so what you are seeing now is the login screen for KW Command. KW Command is where we put all our documents for each transaction so that your office has a copy of it. This is where they also can view it for compliance reviews and for approval so that you guys can get your checks right when you close or whenever the checks arrive at the office. So the URL for KW Command is agent.kw.com, or exactly like it is on here, command.kw.com. And you would just log in with your own login information. So the first step to creating an opportunity, and an opportunity is what we call the files for each transaction. So any escrow, any leases, commercials, each file is called an opportunity. The first step you want to do, though, before creating an opportunity is add your client to your contacts, which is going to be right here on the left side under contacts. So you just click there and then click on the right button here that says add contact. And then you would just fill in any of the information. All you really need is their name. However, if you are going to use KW Command for your email blasts and any other items that you share with your clients, this would be good to put in their full name and like their email addresses and any other information you have on them, their birthdays, anniversaries, whatever info you want to have on here. And then you would just click create. One other cool thing I've noticed on opportunities, though, is if in case you do forget to create the client contact information first, and you went ahead and just started creating the opportunity, they give you an option now to just add that client on there. So let's say I'm just gonna create an opportunity. And then, so I'm gonna pretend like it's a listing. So you just put it in listing here. Oh, sorry, let me go over this. So Market Center is the office that you're in. Whether it's Coastal, Long Beach, that you just want to make sure your market center is the correct one here. Opportunity type is the type of transaction. So if you are representing the sellers, you want to click on listing. If it's the buyers, buyer, and landlord and tenants is for lease transactions. So let's say I'm representing the sellers. This is where you can now add your clients without going to the contacts first. So for example, I'm just going to put Mr. An, my dad, and now you can just click here to add him. You can also add their email address or phone number, or you don't have to. You can just skip that part. You'll notice that all the sections with the red star is what you just need to fill in to create this opportunity. So opportunity name, I usually put the property address. So for example, I'll just put 123 Fake Street. I usually put the city and state and zip code. So just for an example, then I go down to the next sections where it has all the red stars. So then the next one would be commission rate, usually average 2.5. So I'll just put that there. I put opportunity phase as an active, so meaning like your listing is now active. An opportunity stage, I usually put it as the last one. It could be negotiations or legacy. These will just place your opportunity in your timeline within Command. However, it doesn't reflect where your actual escrow is. These are just the steps necessary to create that opportunity. So once you fill those in, you want to hit create. And in this first page, you're in the details tab. So these are the different tabs that you'll see on top. We're in the details tab now. While you're in this details tab, I would always recommend just putting the address again here in that property box. So you would just click on this pencil mark, and whenever you see a pencil mark, that means you can edit that section. So for the sake of, since I used this fake address, I'm gonna put a real one just to fill that in. But whatever address you put in here, it'll save it and then it'll pop up there. Then you want to go to the documents section, and this is where we actually upload everything. So once you hit documents, you want to pick a checklist type. This is very important because if you don't click on the correct one, then your checklist and what it shows as what is required for this transaction will be totally different one from one you need. So you just want to make sure that you clicked and choose the right one. So we're going to click residential for this example. Once I click that, pretty much you might have noticed that all these placeholders popped up. And you'll see here on the left side under where I picked the residential checklist, it will be, it'll have 3 different sections separated by listing, under contract, and closed. So in the listed section, this is where you'll put all the listing paperwork, the MLS active sheet, property profile. And then once you put in anything here, for example, I'm going to show you how to upload. Let's say I have the MLS sheet and I want to upload it here. So then I would just click on this button that says drop your file here. And I have it, for example, I have it saved on my desktop. So I would just click on that, open, and then in just a few moments, it's uploaded for you. And then once I uploaded that, this submit button became green, meaning I can submit this for compliance review. And I like to, just as good practice, I like to submit anything, even if it's just one piece of paper, anything new, just so the compliance person can see it right away. This is helpful because let's say there is something wrong or it's something that needs to be fixed, they will catch it faster. And we just want to do that so that at closing, there are no delays for your checks. So it's good to always submit that button whenever you upload anything. So the next section will be under contracts. So pretty much this is where you would start uploading everything once you have entered escrow or lease. So once you enter escrow, this is where you would upload all the purchase agreements, any counters you may have. Then you would, as the escrow goes on, you would upload more and more paperwork here until you close. So then at the end, when you're about to close, or let's say you have closed and you've gotten your closing documents, this is where all the closed paperwork will go. If you have anything additional, you can always go to any section of the opportunity wherever you want to upload it. And each section will have these 3 dots up here on the top right. And this is where, if you click that, this is where you can add in any miscellaneous documents. Let's say if you don't see a placeholder for insurance and you want to put that in your file, you can just click that, add a document. You can name it insurance. Click document type, so maybe disclosure, and then you can drag it from wherever it's saved on your computer and then save it. And then it will pop up at the bottom usually right there. And again, you can submit that so that your office will know that there is something to look at and to review. So that is the documents section. So the next section, the next tab over will be your offers and commissions. This is where you will enter in your sales price, any referral fees, any office fees, anything that has to do with your commission. So that when your office knows, it's usually the first thing that they see, so that they know that you are in escrow. And it's also there so that once we submit it, your office will create a commission disbursement authorization form, which is also known as the CDA. And that's your commission breakdown that is sent to escrow so that they cut the checks according to that. And then that is what is delivered at closing to your office. So when you're in the offers and commissions tabs, you just want to hit on add a new offer or add new offer. You can name it whatever you'd like. So if it's the initial offer, you can leave it as that, or you may want to name it like offer number 1, number 2, number 3. whatever you like. Then you just hit the next button. Here you enter in the dates, so the offer date and close date, and then you hit next again. Each next button says what the next thing is. So previously it said parties, now it's on terms. Or sorry, we're on parties now. So parties, this is where you would put all the clients and all the agents' names. So let's say the buyer was Miss On, another On. And then, for example, let's say I am also representing the buyer. So you would just put whoever it is on there and then hit next. So this is the terms portion of your commission tab. This is where you would just put the price. If part of it was cash, you can put the cash amount, the lending amount, and then total amount should be where it says sales price. And you can all, of course, fill in anything here. However, what you just need to go next though is this sales price to be filled in. So for the sake of this example, I'm just going to put 1 million so that I could go next to agent details or analysis. And here you can enter in all the pros and cons of the agent that you're working with, any notes, but it's not necessary for this. So you can just save it. Once you're here, you want to accept that offer that you got and then click on manage. And then it will pop up like this. This is what it will look like now. If you see anything in red, like for example, this contract date, that means you need to enter that information. So then I would just click on edit general information, enter in the date that the contract had when you created the contract or when it opened, and then saved changes. And then it's not red anymore. If there's no more reds, then you're done with that. Here under the agent breakdown, this is where I put in TC fees, referral fees, any fees that will affect your commission. So let's say this agent has a TC fee, then you would just click on edit agent payment, go down a little bit, and you'll see this button that says add item. You just click on that, click on the arrow, and this is where you would click the type of additional element. So since it's a deduction as a TC fee, I would click deduction, put the price here, description. So I just put TC fee, who you want to pay it to, their address, their phone number. So anything again with just the red stars is what you need to fill out. Once you fill that out and you press add item, it will come up in their agent breakdown. And that also lets the office know about that deduction when they get that CDA submission. This section here under summary is, again, just a summary of what your commission will be. So it will show total commission, what you're going to pay to the office because of whatever split you have, royalty fees, and then what you end up with, and any deductions if you have it too. Also, you'll see this add note button. So this is where I like to put any information, even if it's redundant. So let's say I want to put in here, the TC fee again is $350, just so if they miss the deduction, they'll see it on the notes. I like to also put who escrow is. So whoever the escrow company, the officer, and their email preferably, and any other notes if there's a referral or anything that you want the office to know, this is where you want to put it. And then you would just hit save changes and it would end up here. So once you're done with that and there are no more reds, then you can submit the commission. And once you submit it, there will be a donations tab. You can either choose to donate or skip, and then your office will get the commission so that they can create the CDA. Your office will email you the CDA, and then it's up to you to approve it. So once they email it to you, if you can just review it, reply, let them know if it's good to go, and then they'll either send it to escrow or tell your TC to send it to escrow for you. And then, so going back to, sorry, I just need to move this. block here. So going back to your documents, like I said, the process of the escrow, as it's going, you want to just keep uploading whatever you have fully executed into your file. Keep hitting that submit button, even if it's just one little thing, so that your compliance officer is up to date. And then lastly, when you're at closed and you have everything, this should be the last tab that's waiting to get approved by the time you're about to close. And you will see here that it says whether it's approved or submitted, or if it's blank, that means it's still getting worked on. So this is where you'll see whether each section is good to go or still needs to be worked on or not, or returned. Return meaning something's not good and needs to be fixed. So, any questions at this point?
I'll jump in for a second. Hi, I'm Jocelyn Shimizu, and I'm the compliance officer for, I think, a couple of your offices that are on here. So I just wanted to let you know, so as Mina was saying, important things to do is like for the listing section, you're going to want to make sure to follow the rules of like turning it in within the 24 to 48 hours along with your buyer purchases. And if you're looking on the checklist, so as you can see, some of them have the required and then some are conditional. So the required ones are the ones at the office. You must have them, or else you have to just talk to the compliance officer or the broker and get approved and give an explanation why you haven't been able to turn in those forms. We understand that sometimes it's difficult to get everything signed, but we still want to know why, and then at least have email proofs showing the reasoning, like you weren't able to get a signature or something like that. Also, the forms that say conditional, it's not necessarily, you may not have it all the time. So for example, if you're not in the city of LA, you're not going to have that city report for Los Angeles. So it's really depending on your different, certain circumstance of the transaction. So there's little notes, if you hover over the upside down, that show what are required. And also you can always ask us a question via email, texting, calling, or the add comment section too. That's the way that most people communicate with us. And all you have to do is you would click that add comment, and then you do have to push the @ sign. So you can see, it says use an @ symbol, and then you would just have to select the compliance officer for that office, and to be able to ask them a question that will ping me on my side to answer anything you may have.
Yes. Oh, and one thing I also wanted to show is whenever Jocelyn does send you a note or any notification, whether it's saying your listed site is approved of this opportunity, you'll get a notification on this bell symbol. You'll see a red dot, meaning you got a new notification, and that's where you'll see whether like this one, for example, it says it was edited. So meaning she's looking at it, or my compliance officer is looking at it, they're working on it, or it'll say she approved it, or if she left the note. That's where it'll all come up, and it'll come up here too. So let's say she did leave a note, you'll see this dialogue symbol right here with the red dot, and I'll say that will mean she left a new note for you. So that's always good to look at. Oh, there it is. So that's that red dot near the bell. So meaning I got a new notification. And yes, that's the one comment I wanted to add. Any questions?
Yeah, so I really wanted you guys to have this. This is Kendra Miller. Sorry, I was eating, so my camera is off. But things change, right? So it used to be on the transfer disclosure statement. This is one of the things I asked Jocelyn recently. We used to always have to type in, buyers to get home inspection, agent doesn't verify, comments, blah, 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 blah. And Jocelyn let me know, okay, that's no longer required on the TDS, because as long as you're doing an Avid, that you just check, see my Avid, and the Avid, between the Avid and the contract, it pretty much covers that. But are there any things that have changed Or like over time, it used to be that the final walkthrough used to have to be signed by the sellers. And now if nothing is written on the VP, you don't need the sellers to sign it. Are there any other kind of like little tips or things like that that maybe we should know about that have changed?
That's a good question. So, like you said, it does change from time to time, and then we do have usually broker classes that go over the changes. I'm just looking real quick to see if I can see anything right now. Mainly, or sorry, you go.
Oh, and then just if you know of any forms or anything from CAR that are changing or going away. I keep trying to get on the forms committee. Well, for 2 years now, they don't take me, but I would like to reduce the number of forms. Maybe that's why they don't take me.
I'll put a letter rec if you want one.
Yes, I do. I want to be on the forms committee.
Okay, I'll tell Simon and we'll write one. But anyways, right now, I'm trying to think of any recent ones. I know that a lot of people are starting to use like the non-standard form, that CAR form, for like when they're doing new constructions, for in case you're doing like builder, like if you only have the builder forms, a lot of people are starting to get that signed as well, so that there's no like them coming back saying like, oh, I didn't get any like normal forms signed. So that's like something for new construction that people have been submitting. But recently there hasn't been that much, but let me talk with Simon and then maybe we can get a list out to the office too of
So
any updates.
Jocelyn, you know, one thing too is that like some offices, because they give you the TDS, they don't do the water heater and smoke detector form. I still do both, but is that something that you feel like isn't necessary or is overkill, or do you prefer to have both?
I mean, I think it's good practice to get it done just to have it just in case, but it's not like totally 100% you need it right now.
Okay.
It's more like if you had like the ESD done, and if then you would probably want to get it done, the water heater one.
Okay.
Just so you had it, because usually the TS will cover it. But
and then like on the trust advisory, like if you have a seller selling out of their trust and they sell the trust advisory, and then you know you get it signed as part of either the counter or as part of the disclosures, do you care if you have the TA with the seller signatures alone and then have the TA with both, or is the one with the TA with both enough?
the one with both is enough.
Perfect.
Oh, and speaking of lists, what's great about the opportunities, each one that you make, there will be a checklist within it. So I usually, you can either use like the placeholders as a checklist themselves, but if you look up here where this underlined residential transaction checklist is, you can click on that and it will actually give you the entire checklist as well.
Oh, that's nice.
And same thing with anything else that's underlined. It just means that it's there for you if you need a copy of it. So these three are also there, and anything else that might be underlined.
Hey, ladies, it's Deborah Bell. Thanks so much. I really appreciate you guys being here, but I wanted to address Kendra had a question about, are there any new forms? There are, I think, she's not going to like hearing this, but 10, I believe, new forms that are coming out in December. I would walk you through where they are, but they're on the CAR site and my internet went out. So I'm working off my phone right now. But I know that Simon was going to be addressing them, but I don't know if he has a class on the calendar yet. There are some changes to the contract, to a few contracts, but I think he said there's at least 10 new. And some of them are really kind of like, are you kidding me? But I'm with Kendra. It's like, I started back in the late 80s and it was a 3-page contract with 5 carbon copies. So it's like, press hard, you know, and here we are to a gazillion pieces of paper, which is crazy. But well, I know there's a list on the CAR site.
Oh, thanks, Deborah. I usually do go to those classes like when they roll out new forms in, what is it, November or December, and whenever they do the second one, June. But I was wondering if there were going to be any that are going to be required, or are they just new?
That's a good question. Yeah, that would be Simon's decision if we're going to update the checklist. I don't know if Jossie's heard anything about that or not, but I haven't seen anything on changing our checklist just yet.
Not just yet. I think he wants to look them over first, and then he'll let us all know.
Got it. Good.
You get Kendra on the board.
Yeah, exactly. I like
Thank
that
you.
idea.
I would love
Get my
that.
vote too.
You know, my big push is that other states do this with like 1/10 of the amount of paper we do, and they don't have tons of lawsuits, and they don't have, you know, issues, and it's just very upsetting that it feels much more about CYA than protecting our clients' interest and trying to get them the most amount of information possible, which is why we should do the forms, not to try to protect ourselves as realtors, right? That's what bothers me about it.
I totally get it. Totally.
Mina, this is Kim.
Hi, Kim.
Hi. I was going to say maybe you could point out, because I get this question a lot, when agents upload a document that actually, or a PDF that actually has two different documents that they want to split. Maybe could you?
Oh yeah, definitely. Thank you. Actually, I don't use the splitting feature here myself because I do it somewhere else. But yes, good point. So those 3 dots that you will find in the 3 sections of your opportunity, whether it's listed, under contract, closed, these 3 dots also has a feature where it says split and attach PDF. So usually we get a PDF of the RPA. It has the agency, the PRBS, fair housing all together, right? And right here, we prefer if you upload it all split up. So if you don't have a splitting feature, if you click on those 3 dots and then click on split and attach PDF, you can drop that RPA or whatever PDF attachment you have that has multiple forms in there, upload it, and then you would hit next. And then right here, you would put the range of page. So you have to know the which page number it is in that package, but put the page range, what you want to name it, and where you want, what placeholder you want to attach it to. And then it will automatically split and attach it to that placeholder. So that's a really cool feature. And it seems like there's also an export document. So this is where, so this is where you can export any documents from your file if you need to share it to your clients, or if you want to save it all somewhere else. You can also do that individually. So let's pretend this was all filled in with all different forms, but you just want one form. You don't want to download the whole thing. If you click on the 3 dots next to the said form, or I'm sorry, you can either print it from there, but if you click on it, you can download it here as well. Print or download. So that's another cool thing. And let's say you uploaded a form and it was a mistake, or it got updated. And so there's a newer version of that form and you submitted it for compliance. A really cool feature is that first form that you uploaded doesn't go away. It's still in there. And if you ever want to view it again, so let me just update this to pretend like I updated this, right? And once I did that, the status changed to updated. But if I wanted to view the first form again, I would just have to click on the form and then click on version history, and then it will show you the first version and your current version. So if you ever need to go back or just look at what you had before, that's how you can look at your already uploaded documents. Any other questions? So yeah, again, though, if you guys have any questions or concerns, you can always email us directly or do the add comment so that we can talk and see what we can do if there's any certain like special situations with your transaction as well.
All right, ladies, thank you so much. Josie, thank you, our compliance officer, and Mina, our in-house TC. Guys, remember to reach out to Mina when you have escrows you're opening and let her take the paperwork off your hands. It's great to experience it on your own at least once because you will gain a lot of knowledge. However, you're going to gain a lot of time if you allow Mina to take it from there.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.